Good morning, sir. So, in the last class, we successfully done with the GCA. ACA. देखो बेटा GCA में CA है. Handle with care. Yes sir, no sir. शुरू करेंगे बेटा स्कैनर करेंगे बेटा. Mandatory. If you can able to answer this scanner, no, fit for the exam. The final judge, real judge of your knowledge will be scanner. स्कैनर करना बोल तो लिखना. क्या करना? पढ़े तो नहीं होता बेटा. कितने बार लिखना? You want 40 marks 4 times, 50 marks 5 times. लिखना. क्या करना? हाँ. Mrs. K went to jewelry shop to purchase diamond ornament. कुछ काम नहीं रहते बेटा उसको. Kavita went to jewelry shop to purchase the diamond ornament. The owners of the jewelry shop were notorious and indulging in the खत्म हो गया. Smuggling activities. Which activities? K purchased a diamond necklace ornament honestly without making proper inquiry. Without making. बेटा ज्वेलरी है ना बेटा. 1 तुला 1 lakh rupees. Gold ornaments nowadays 1 तुला 1 lakh. Before purchasing the ornament, you have to inquire properly or not, beta. So, without making proper inquiries, was the purchase made in the good faith? Whether this purchase made in the good faith or not? No, because she's negligent. She's. I am underlining it also. Without making proper inquiries. Without making proper. 2 mark के लिए बेटा. नंबर 20 में आया. Honest purchase made. इतना आंसर दे देखो बेटा ऐसे वाला. 2 mark के लिए. Yeah. Say an honest purchase made carelessly without making proper inquiries cannot be said to be how made in the good faith. She is acting carelessly. How? As my students sit in the class, no beta. Abraham, listening, beta. What do you understand by the term good faith? Which faith? अच्छा भरोसा मंच नमकम. Explain it as per the provisions of the General Clause Act. Mr. X purchased a watch from Y carelessly without proper inquiry whether purchase made in the good faith or not. No. Same question beta. एक कब आया 20 में आया, एक कब आया 19 में आया. That is the power of the revisions and RTPs, MTPs, scanner. Don't enter into exam hall without doing my scanner for कम से कम 4 बार. ये क्या है बेटा? Scanner, helmet, then protection. Done. The act was the act is done negligently. Act is done and shall be deemed to be done in good faith. Comment with the help of the provisions of the GCA. Same question beta. If you're doing negligently, good faith not a good faith. Above twice आया बेटा. देखो third, fourth, fifth, 6 times in the exam. If you're acting negligently, it is not deemed to be good faith. 6, 7, 8, good faith. What do you understand by term good faith? Explain after provisions of the General Clause. Date question by definition देना. 9 times है अभी तक 9 times है बेटा. 10 times. The definition of good faith was asked 10 times in the exam. How many times? Define the definition of the affidavit and definition of the good faith. What is affidavit? Affidavit means affirmation and declaring instead of the swearing. Just now we have discussed in the chapter. And good faith means acting in good faith. Definition beta. Next, explain the meaning of the commencement. Exam में एक बार आया. So, Act is passed in the Parliament of India on 10/10/2010. Act is applicable from commencing from the 10/10/2010 only. Act is passed in the Parliament of India in 10/10/2010, but they want to apply it from the 11/11/2010. So the Act is deemed to be commencing from this date, 11/11/2010. Clear? 7th question. When does an act is said to have been comes into operation? Mhm. When does an act is said to have come into operation if the act has not specified any particular date of enforcement, date of passing the Parliament of India, date of passing in the, if act is not specifying this date, then the act is deemed to be applicable from the date of passing, date of, then explain the help of example. Next, what do you mean by the power of attorney and what do you mean by the state what do you understand by term document, explain the meaning of the document as per the General Clause Act. Discuss which of the following should be read as document. Power of attorney document, yes. Check document, yes. Check also document. Both are the documents. I several questions you can able to understand if you do scanner, otherwise you can't. 2 mark के लिए आए बेटा, yes yes लिखे तो 2 mark. If you don't do scanner you can't answer because these examples are not given in the act. Next, explain the validity of the following with reference to GCN. Things attached to earth have been held to be immovable property. True or false? Yes. The word bullocks could be interpreted to include the cows. Bullock means bull. Cow means cow. అవునేమంటారు హిందీలో गाय. बुल को क्या बोलते हैं? बर्रे रावी. बफेलो. सो बुल अलग होता है, कौ अलग होता है. डन बेटा. So what he is asking, bullu cow both are same or not, is asking both are separate. Clear? Bullock could not be interpreted to include the cow. Bulls are alag hota hai, cows alag hota hai beta. Next is asking the definition of the rule, definition of the oath, definition of the person. One mark I think, the 3 mark. Next, what is the meaning of the official gazette? Gazette of India or gazette of the state? A confusion regarding the meaning of the financial year arose between the financial executive and accountant of the company. Both were having the different arguments regarding the financial year and the calendar year. What is financial year? 1st April to 31st March. What is calendar year? January to December. So what is the correct meaning of the financial year and the calendar year as per GCA? Financial year means 1st April to 31st March. Calendar year means January to December. कितने मार्क के लिए पूछा बेटा? 4 मार्क. Easy question. ऐसे वाले क्वेश्चन आए तो अच्छा रहता. ये देखो बेटा, ये क्वेश्चन कितना बार आया बेटा? कितना बार आया? X owned a land with 50 tamarind trees. Chintapandu. He sold his land to Y, obtained after cutting the 50 trees. Y wants to know whether the sale of the timber tantamount to the sale of immovable property. Timber immovable property, movable property या timber movable property है ना बेटा? So one land is there. What is it बेटा? Land. In this land how many trees are there? 50 trees. How many trees बेटा? Trees movable, immovable. But that guy is selling this land after cutting the 50 trees. After cutting the, so now it is not a tree, it is a timber है बेटा. Timber किसको मिलता है? Seller का, buyer का? Seller का. Buyer will get only land, but not the timber. If it is not removed from the earth, देखो बेटा, X owned a land with 50 tamarind trees. He sold his land obtained after cutting the 50 trees to Y. Y wants to know whether the sale of timber tantamount to equals to sale of immovable property. Advise him with reference to provisions of the General Clause Act. इतना बार आया. Here we sell in the land, but not the timber. Timber अलग होता है, land अलग होता है. But timber and land and tree same ही होता है. Tree is part of the land, but timber is not part of the land. Then कितना बार आया देखो बेटा. Meaning of the affidavit, that question. Meaning of movable property, meaning of a person, that question. ये देखेंगे बेटा. Question number 16. Just now we have discussed Income Tax Act. The Income Tax Act 1961 provides that gratuity paid by the government to its employees is fully exempt from tax. Income Tax Act says government employees gratuity is exempted. You are required to explain the scope of the government, meaning scope of the term government, and clarify whether exemption from the gratuity income will be available to state government employees also. But government includes central government, it includes the state government also. Katham. It's applicable to state government also, no? But he's asking the definition of the government. Government includes central government and marks, 2 marks, 3 marks. But see that how big the question is for 2 marks. With your small brain, after 8 months, between 2 to 5, when you're already stressed, when whole syllabus is there, you have to read, you have to understand, you have to answer for these 2 marks. A confusion regarding the meaning of the already we have discussed financial year and calendar year beta. Financial year and calendar year and financial year. Just now we have discussed upper already. Ayush and Vipul are good friends. Which friends? And pursuing CA course. Both are doing the CA. While doing the group studies. Katam Kallas. While doing the group studies for the paper 3, corporate laws and other laws, they are confused about the provisions of section 3 of the Companies Act. Section 3 provides a company may be formed for any lawful purpose. Here may is equal to may or may is equal to must. You have to understand may is equal to must. Company must be formed for the lawful purpose. Can I form the company for the illegal purpose, unlawful purpose? No. Act में may है ना. You have to understand may is equal to must. कितने मार्क के लिए पूछे बेटा? 2 मार्क 3 मार्क के लिए पूछता. May shall be used as the shall or the must. Must or shall means compulsory. May means optional. Here may is equal to must. आ रहा बेटा क्या आ रहा examine the validity of the following statements with reference to GCL. Insurance policies covering the immovable property have been held to be immovable property. क्वेश्चन का मीनिंग क्या है बेटा? इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी covering the immovable property have been held to be immovable property. Building is there. Movable, immovable. On the building I have taken in the insurance policy. This policy document, movable, immovable, but not immovable. Policy, just because I am taking the insurance policy in the movable property, this policy will not become immovable property. 1 mark, 2 mark, 1.5 mark, 1.5 mark or 3 marks. That's why we should do scanner. It's an asan question. So this is not a valid statement. So building is immovable property. Insurance policy is not immovable property. वो paper है बेटा. Agreement है, document है. So just now we have discussed bullocks and cows. Both are separate बेटा. Bullock separate होता है, cow separate होता है बेटा. ये male है, female ऐसे something कुछ रहता. Next, SEBI. 4th Amendment Regulations 2015 was issued by SEBI by notification number, notification dated on 14th August 25 with effect from 1 January 16. Different provisions of the General Clause Act examine the date of enforcement. When Act is notified, when they want applying, so the Act is deemed to commencing from. ये क्वेश्चन इतना बड़ा एग्जाम में इजी. 3 marks, 2 marks, 2 marks. बेटा स्कैनर करना. This is supreme in CA inter, CA final, CA foundation. I give one material, I give running notes. वो 3 बार 4 बार पढ़ना. Leave it. Scanner, 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 scanner. It is equal to your Bible, Gita, Quran. खाली स्कैनर करो तो बस. To the best of my knowledge and belief. Effect of repeal. Effect of repeal. Explain briefly any 4 effects of repeal. Repeal shall not affect the privilege obtained old act, prior management, claims made under the old act, punishments for features on the old act, inquiries under the old act. कितना बार आया बेटा एग्जाम में? 2 times आया, 3 times आया. Came so many times actually. Repeal versus deletion. Repeal means once upon a time. Why? Repeal means once upon a time not there, now also not there. Deletion, once upon a time it is there, now it is not there. Repeal means it never existed except for the above 4 purposes. Next, repeal of the provision is different from the deletion. Same question beta upper wala. Next, references to the repealed enactment. References to वो इनकम टैक्स एक्ट का एग्जांपल देखो. सेम सेक्शन 218 AA of Income Tax Act 1961 provides that a company is said to be company in which public are substantially interested if it is a company which is registered under section 25 of the Companies Act 1956. What is this section 25? NPO, Old Companies Act. After advent of the Companies Act 2013, the corresponding change has not been made in section 218 of the Income Tax Act. Explain with reference to provisions of the GCA how will the provisions of section 218 AA of the Income Tax Act will be considered. Yeah, Income Tax Act is there. In Income Tax Act, section 2, clause 18, subclause AA specifies about section 25 of Companies Act 1956. Subsequently, this act is repealed. This act is repealed. In the place of the old Companies Act, Companies Act 2013 came in the form of section 25. Which section came in new Companies Act? Section 8. But section 218 AA of the Income Tax Act is not amended. When you're reading this statement, you have to interpret it as the section 8 of the new Companies Act. Then we discussed this in the last class also, beta. Section 8. New Companies Act. Clear? Next question. Commencement and termination. ये देखो बेटा कितना बार आया देखो. From date should be excluded, to date should be. The Companies Act 2013 provides that company may the amount of dividend remained unpaid, unclaimed on expiry of the 30 days from the date of declaration of the dividend shall be transferred to unpaid dividend account within the 7 days from the date of the such expiry from the such period of 30 days. If the expiry date is the expiry date 30 days is 31/21, decide the last day on or before which unpaid unclaimed dividend amount shall be required to be transferred to separate bank account. But company declared dividend on the 31st 9 and 21 31st. So company should declare dividend within the 30 days. The 30th day is the 30 10 21 30 amma 30. Yes sir, no sir. The 30th day is the 30 10 21 30 10 21. So within next 7 days we have transferred to unpaid unclaimed dividend account. We have to count 7 days from the next day. That October end days ఉంటారా 31 October end days ఉంటాయి. So we have to count the 7 days from the 31st October, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, ఎన్ని అయిపోయినాయి 1 2 3 4 5 6 5 6. Then yes sir, no sir. So 30th day is the 30 10 2021. We have to count the 7 days. We have to count the 7 days from the next day. That is the 31st October. Next 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th plus 1 7 days. Then how to count the 7 days? We have to count from the next day. Simply from date should be excluded, to date should be included. Same question beta, more or less. Excel Limited declare dividend when 39 20 17. Under the provisions of the Companies Act, the company is required to pay the declared dividend within the 30 days from the date of declaration. So how to count the 30 days from the, we should not count this date. We count the 30 days from the 1 10 17. Clear na? Yes sir, no sir. 1 10 16 to 30 10 16. Computation of the time kate beta. Computation of the time. So if we have to file something with some officer, some court, the last day's holiday, we have to do it on the next day. The holiday, court is closed. Sri was supposed to submit an appeal to High Court of Delhi on 8th September. When beta? 8th September 2023, which was last day on which appeal could be submitted. However, the court was closed on the 8th September. When we have to submit it the next day, that is 9th September. When beta? Closed due to the total lockdown of Delhi for 30 days due to the visit of the foreign delegates from the 40 countries for G40 whatever. So examine the remedy available to the Sri. So since it is a last date, no beta, the day is closed, no, we have to perform it on the next day when court opens. When court yellow and pink had a long dispute regarding the ownership of the land for which legal suit was pending in the court. The court fixed the date of hearing on the 29th, which was announced to be holiday. Unfortunately, hearing is on 29th, that was a holiday. Subsequently, by the government. So, what will be the computation of the time next day? That is the 30th. 30th, you should perform it on the next day. Then, Mr. Sohan has issued the promise note of 1000 rupees to Mr. Mohan on 17th May, payable after 3 months. After that date, certain holiday was declared. So, we have to perform on the next day. Then same question. Ajit was supposed to submit an appeal to High Court of Calcutta on 30th March. Since that was closed, we have to perform it on the 31st March. Next day, on which court is open. Then measurement of distances. How to measure the distance in the GCA on the horizontal plane? There are two ways to reach the city A from city A from city B. The distance between these two cities are roadway 100 kilometers, waterways 80 kilometers, of which the distance measured on the straight line basis. Which basis beta? On horizontal plane. Then easy, I able to understand the questions. Easy na comparatively. Compared to I was more easy, I think. Next, calculation of the duty on the pro rata basis. Which basis beta? Explain the meaning of the calculation of duty to be taken on the pro rata basis. Proportionately we have to. జెండర్ అంట. ఇప్పుడు క్వశ్చన్ देखो कितना. Mrs. Neelu Chandra was director of the Laddu Sweets Private Limited. Laddu. Once while dealing with the supplier of raw materials for the company, she, मैडम है बेटा, अरे गणेश देखो, she agreed to get some secret commission from the supplier for making the deal. Afterwards, on finding the facts, the company was filed a suit against Neelu. She contended that Section 166 of the Companies Act provides a director of the company shall not be achieve or attempt to achieve any undue gain or advantage either to himself or his relative or partner or associates if such director is found guilty of making undue gain, he shall be liable to amount equal to gain of the company. She contended that section 166 applicable only to male because in the section male is used. Same example we have discussed. Yes or no in the class, regular class. So can she argue like that? He includes she includes Telsa Ganesh. Therefore, Neelu bound to be punished. Then Papam Neelu. इधर बेटा बारू बारू आरा बहुत बारू आरा. As per the provisions of the Companies Act 2013, whole time key managerial person shall not hold the office more than one company except its a subsidiary company at the same time. If you are acting as a whole time director of the company, whole time KMP, you should not at KMP in any other company. Whole time you are working here only, na? How can you work another company unless it is a subsidiary company? At the same time, referring to section 13 of the General Clause Act, examine whether the whole time KMP can be appointed in more than one subsidiary company. Singular includes plural. Singular includes power to appoint shall include power to suspend also, beta. Lamba questions है beta. Lengthy questions. For 2 marks, 3 marks in the exam. By God's we are doing other people. What about their fate? At least we can have some idea. Okay, this kind of questions are coming. बोल के. Shivan smile. Good girl. Examine the validity of the following statement with reference to GCA 1897. The Board of Directors of Sabarwal Constructions Private Limited authorized by the passing resolution in the board meeting Mr. Munim to appoint 5 employees for the accounts department of the company. So Munim is there, so he can appoint the 5 officers for the accounts department. Mr. Munim appointed 5 employees including Mr. Rupal, who was relative of one of the director of the company. So he is appointing the 5 employees also. After 1 month, Mr. Munim observed Mr. Rupal was not performing his duties honestly. Mr. Munim issued an order to dismiss of Mr. Rupal with proper reasons. Mr. Rupal filed a petition in the court that his dismissal order is not valid as the director had authorized him only for the appointment of the employees, not for the dismissal. When you have a power to appoint, you have a improper power to dismiss also. Removal valid and invalid? अच्छे बच्चे है बेटा आप लोग. You people looks like this but you're talented. Power हो गया बेटा mostly I think 39 question 39 no. We have nearly 48 questions are there. More 10 questions only. What is the effect on the implementation of the rules that are issued between the passing and commencement of the act? So act is passed on 10/10/2010. We want to apply these rules from the 11/11/2011. 1 year gap is there. In this period, we are making some rule. It is applicable from 11 to 11. Clear? Next question. Explain various provisions applicable to rules bylaws being made after previous publication. So, if we are making any rule for any person, before applying that rule to that department, that group of persons, we have to give a notice to those people. We should take their objections, suggestions. Yes or no, sir? Third question. 41. MCA published in the Gazette of India the proposed draft of rules. Capital proposed draft rules further to amend the certain rules under the Companies Act 2013. The MCA has made some modifications in the draft rules already published. In the light of the provisions of the JCA, answer: is it required for the MCA to publish a draft of the proposed rules? Will publish or not? Publish or not, beta? Should publish to those people who are affected. In case any irregularities in the publication of the draft, can it be questioned? Yes, you can give your suggestions. And is MCA entitled to make the suitable changes to the draft? They may not. We can give our objections. Is it necessary to republish the rules in the amended form when the changes is made? Yes, even after changing also, we have to publish to the affected people. So they have right to give the suggestions again. Then provisions as to offences punishable under 2 acts. No offence shall be prosecuted and punished for the no one shall be prosecuted punished for the same offence more than once. Explain. So one offence is there punishable under 2 laws. It is punished only once or twice. Once, but not the twice. 43. Mr. R, an advocate, fraudulently deceived by his client. Super beta. Client is deceiving the lawyer uncle. Deceived his client, fraudulently deceived Mr. R, an advocate, fraudulently deceived his client, Mr. Chandra, who was taking the expert advice on taxation matters. Now, Mr. R is liable to be fined for his fraudulent act, both under the Advocates Act and also the Income Tax Act. So, that advocate should be punished twice or once? Twice. Once, but not the twice. Last concept, meaning of service by post. Meaning of service by post. We have 4 to 5 questions are there. With this, we can complete the scan of this chapter also. Mr. Mike has lent his house property to Mr. Weiss. Monthly rent of the 15,000 rupees per month. The yearly rent agreement was due to expire in the near future. When is going to expire, beta? Near future. However, Mr. Mike does not intend to continue the agreement, and he has sent the notice to the Mr. Weiss for the termination of the agreement. Mr. Weiss, on other hand, does not want to vacate the property and hence return the notice. Even the notice is written, it is deemed to be serving on the person. Written the notice with an endorsement of refusal. Now, Mr. Weiss has contended that no notice was served on him. Hence, there is no need for him to vacate the property. Even you are refusing, it is deemed to be serving on you only. Then, समझ में आया बेटा? What is the meaning of the service by post as per provisions of the General Clauses Act? Date question कितना बार है देखो बेटा. Next. A notice was served on Mr. P for appearing before the court. Notice was served on P. However, the notice could not be served on account of the fact that the house of Mr. P was found locked. Even it is locked, it is deemed to be served only. We discussed yesterday. Thus, P did not appear before the court to examine whether it is served on him or not. Yes, it is served only. A door is closed. He kept that letter there. One bird came. Listen carefully to class. Listen to revision carefully and listen to the scanner. तीनों को लिखना. Perimeter लिखना, scanner लिखना, exam लिखना. Pass with exemption with लिखना क्या करना. But most of the people will listen only beta. They will not write of margin. A note is when required under the SAT rule to be sent by registered post with acknowledgement due is instead of sent by registered post only valid and invalid. Invalid. We discussed this thing also. Last question in the GCA beta, question number 48 into 4 come se come. If question comes come 4 times. We are discussing nearly 200 questions on the GCA. Do you think something else will come in the exam? I am leaking CA question paper, CA enter. Still, I don't want to write. No one can help you. Mr. A, landlord staying in Delhi, rented his flat of Bangalore to Mr. B, tenant for the 20,000 rupees per month to be paid annually. The agreement was made between them that during the tenancy period, if A requires his flat to be vacated, 1 month prior notice is to be given to B. After 8 months, notice was sent by A to B to vacate the flat by registered post, which was refused, which was still it is deemed to be serving only. Then so with this we have done with the scanner also. So remaining part we'll see in the next class. Have a great time. Enjoy the day. Prepare well. As is saying off. Take care. Mata katti cheptarra.